Cruising solo is one of the most empowering, freeing, and soul-refreshing ways to travel. There's just something magical about waking up to a new port, sipping coffee on your balcony in silence, and setting your own schedule without having to compromise. But cruising alone means you're your own backup. If you forget something, there's no travel buddy to borrow from. And that is why smart packing is key. Whether it's your first solo sailing or maybe it's your 10th, I want to share with you some things you should always make sure to pack when cruising solo. First up, a portable charger. Because dead phones are the worst, aren't they? Let's face it, your phone is your lifeline nowadays, especially when cruising solo. It's your camera, it's your navigator, your booking tool, your entertainment, and often the way you stay connected with home. Cruise ships are notorious for limited outlets, and if you're out exploring all day, you may not have access to a plug. So bring a lightweight, high-capacity, portable charger, and don't forget the cables. Bonus points if it has multiple ports, so you can charge more than one device at a time. I bring along a device just like this because you really never know when you're going to need it the most. Next up, a small crossbody or belt bag for port days. When you're out exploring a new city, maybe an island or beach town solo, you don't want to be juggling a big backpack or worrying about your stuff. A small, secure crossbody or belt bag does keep your essentials like your passport, your ship card, cash, sunscreen, your phone close to you and your hands completely free. I would say look for one with an anti-theft feature or RFID protection for some extra peace of mind. To follow that, a refillable water bottle. It's easy to forget to hydrate when you're busy living your best life on the Lido deck or wandering a historic ruin. Bringing a refillable water bottle really does ensure you are going to stay hydrated on board and ashore. Plus, it's better for the environment, right? And your budget in particular, than buying bottled water at every port. I tend to bring a refillable water bottle with me on every single cruise, mainly because I don't buy drink packages a lot. I don't drink for the sake of recreational fun, really. I don't drink in my normal life very much, and so I just don't spend the extra money. If I want a soda here and there, I'll buy it a la carte. But for the most part, that refillable water bottle, well, it allows me to refill things like lemonade, iced tea, a lot of the included options that I can find at, say, like the buffet, for example, and I can take it with me. Some cruise lines don't allow large bottles to be refilled at drink stations for sanitary reasons, of course, but a standard 16 to 24 ounce bottle is usually perfect, I've found. To follow that, a light foldable day bag or tote. You'll thank yourself, I think, for this one when you're headed to the beach with a towel, snacks, a book, and a change of clothes, or picking up a few souvenirs in port, for example. The foldable day bag does take up almost no room in your suitcase and really does come in handy constantly. I usually get a drawstring bag that I just throw around my back. It also works for me in a capacity where I can leave it, say, like on a lounge chair or something like that, wherever I go, whether it be an excursion or not. And I can drop it on a lounge chair, and it very clearly signifies somebody is here. Leave it alone, right? This belongs to somebody. So go find yourself another chair. And a solo tip for you, it's a smart way to keep everything in one place when you head to the pool, spa, or gym without leaving your valuables strewn around. Next up, Cruise Essentials folder with your printed docs, copies of IDs, and stuff like that. Technology is great, don't get me wrong, but that is until your phone dies or the Wi-Fi cuts out. Having a small folder with your cruise documents, a copy of your passport, travel insurance, and any important confirmations or maybe emergency contacts, that is super helpful if anything happens to go sideways. And I think this is more important when you are solo. You don't have a buddy with backup files or an extra phone. So Having a printed copy of your ID and your cruise documents, that can be a game changer at embarkation or if something unexpected happens in port. I typically bring a folder full of all of my printed documents, again, just as a backup. You never know what's going to happen. I've been in situations before where my phone suddenly doesn't work because it can't connect to anything, and my phone has freak out moments from time to time where it doesn't recognize signals all of a sudden because we're in a foreign country and it doesn't know what to connect to, and it's in the meantime struggling to end up creating an opportunity for me to get my scannable that I need. And so it's just easier to have things printed out for the sake of a ready solution when technology fails on you. To follow that, we have maybe your favorite book, a journal, or an e-reader. There's a unique kind of peace when it comes with sitting solo on the deck, wind in your hair, lost in a great book, or writing about your adventures. Solo travel, it is a beautiful time for reflection, isn't it? And having something that really feeds your mind or your soul, I mean, besides just binge watching downloaded Netflix episodes, I suppose, it really helps to make the most of what you're experiencing. And I always say a small journal is a great way to remember the moments that don't get captured in photos, like the local you met in Santorini, and perhaps the hilarious game show on board, whatever you might come across. A small solo travel journal really is a great way to not just express gratitude on the daily, but also remember these moments, right? If you go on a lot of cruises like I do, sometimes they blend together a little bit. Sometimes you can't quite place where something specific happened at any particular time. And so going back into a journal and taking a look at the things that you experienced and when, and especially for recording the names of those individuals maybe on board that you've met who've made your experience extra special, the crew members in particular, they get rewarded quite often if you happen to mention them in surveys or any sort of return correspondence to the cruise line post-cruise, and that's something that I always go out of my way for. If they're going out of their way for me, I'm going out of my way for them. I feel like that's the very least I can do. They work long hours and they deserve to be recognized. Next up, confidence-boosting outfits. When you're cruising solo, you're kind of your own date, right? So you might be dining alone, showing up at the shows solo, and mingling with strangers. I always say pack at least 2 to 3 outfits that just make you feel good. Whether, it's a breezy sundress if you're a lady, a sharp blazer if you're a dude, or maybe a swimsuit that you love. Confidence really is your best accessory. And yes, solo diners are always welcome at the table. Crew staff are great at making you feel comfortable, and honestly, you'll be probably meeting other solo travelers or curious couples who strike up a conversation. Look your best, feel your best, show off, let them know how you feel, let them know what's going on. Let everybody be aware that you're solo and loving it. Or if you don't feel comfortable with that, you don't have to. That's the other really nice part about solo travel is you don't have to talk to anybody if you don't want to. You don't have to engage with anybody if that is not something that interests you. I often keep to myself when I am solo cruising, unless somebody goes out of their way to strike up a conversation with me. A lot of times that happens on excursions where, it's kind of a shared experience, so everybody kind of gets to know each other, and I have a great time when I'm on those excursions. But when I'm on the ship, I don't spend a lot of time, sitting next to people, striking up conversations, saying, so where are you from? So what do you do? I'm mostly trying to get the most out of my cruise and really enjoying the amenities and the extras that each cruise line has to offer. If I come across somebody that wants to talk to me, I am all for it. But otherwise, I'm a little bit more introverted when it comes to my cruise experience. And I think that's one of the main reasons why cruises work for me so well, is because you can be whoever you want. You can do whatever you want when you are solo cruising, and they get you everywhere in comfort and safety. Cruising solo, I think it's more than just a vacation. It's an experience of true self-discovery and freedom. While you can always pick up odds and ends in port or on board, I think packing smart means less stress overall and more time to focus on what matters. And that's relaxing, right? That's exploring and soaking in every sunset on your terms. So go ahead, treat yourself, pack wisely, and embrace the solo cruise adventure with confidence. I think you and I both know you've got this. You're going to have a great time. So, have you solo cruised before? Have you experienced multiple solo cruises? Are there things that you pack in particular that aren't on this list? Things that you must have in order to enjoy yourself thoroughly? I'd be very interested to hear what it is that's on your list that may have not made it on mine. Perhaps I'm missing something and need to start including what you have on your list. I am all ears. Let me know, of course, in the comments. And for more solo cruise adventures, I would say check out the video there on the right, or, of course, anything that we have for you here on the left. And we'll see you next time on the Solo Cruiser.